You are now listening to the Friends of Rugby podcast. Relax your anus. Balls. Thick thighs. Camille Shat. Where's his neck? Eddie Jones. You're fucked, mate. We're nice now.
We're recording now.
Oh, are we?
Yeah.
That's a good way to start.
You can do your intro that you practiced.
Hello, I'm Steve.
Oh, God.
I'm joking. Welcome to the Friends of Rugby podcast. New Year's Eve.
This will be our first episode of 2024.
Yeah, but it's 2023.
Yeah, but everyone's going to be listening to it in next year.
Everyone, our fan.
All thousands and thousands of fan
Yeah,
that we have.
yeah.
Hey, we have a fan question.
We do. I'm excited. We'll
Yeah.
do that at the end, eh?
Yeah, we're going to do that. for the
Okay,
end.
no, I'm excited.
Say
Yeah,
that.
genuine fan question via our email, which
Fan
is cool.
dessert.
Yeah, exciting.
What's the date? Did you say the date?
Yeah, December 31st, New Year's Eve.
How's your holidays been going?
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, eating, drinking,
I know.
watching rugby.
I might have gained like 20 pounds.
Yeah, me too. A lot of chocolate. How about you? All good?
Been busy.
Yeah,
Yeah, the wife has been keeping me busy.
nice.
Any kind of free time we have,
Mm.
she wants to use that up for something.
Yeah, that's good though.
Usually when rugby's on.
Oh, that's not so good.
I can't
not so
get out of it.
Keep busy with the rugby. We're going to quit our day job soon.
When we have like the millions of listeners.
When we get a second fan. Yeah, handing my notice in. Yeah. Okay, URC first.
Yeah, let's talk about some URC.
Yeah. All right. So I watched some fun games. I watched the Boxing Day games, the Welsh Derbies. I watched Cardiff, and I watched Cardiff Dragons, and I watched Ospreys Scarlets.
And we watched the heavy hitters.
And then I also watched Leinster v Munster, which was quote unquote cliche of the century, one for the purists.
Any takeaways?
I think Cardiff are going to be, I think they're getting better. I think they've had a lot of close results. And I know it's the Dragons, but I think a lot of their backline is really starting to fire and click, all these young guys they brought in. So I'm excited for Cardiff. Yeah, I think we'll still lose a lot of games, but I'm excited to see them hopefully win some games that aren't against bargain basement teams.
What about the Scarlets Ospreys game?
I think that was a little more predictable. Ospreys won. No one really did anything in the first half in reasonably miserable conditions. I think Ospreys were always going to win that game, but it took them a while to find their feet. Scarlets were in trouble. Ospreys have a good squad. They just need to click a bit more.
I think that was the theme for Boxing Day games was the
Turkey
horrible conditions.
Yeah.
I heard like every game was just like a rain show.
Yeah, there was a storm in the UK. There was this huge storm right around Christmas.
What about the game of the Boxing Day? Your favorite game, Munster versus Leinster?
Yeah, that was, okay, so I know I'm a hater, but there was a lot of uncharacteristic handling errors. Craig Casey didn't have a good game, to be honest. There was a lot. I know it was pissing it down, but yeah, it was hard to watch.
Yeah, everything I heard about the game, there's a ton of complaining.
Yeah.
I'm guessing this was also a big game for Jack Crowley and Harry Byrne.
Harry Byrne was there playing away. Yeah, he did his job. I think he was the best, one of the better players on the field.
Because I didn't watch the game, but I heard they're both like this was their time to shine, and they kind of just didn't grasp it this game. Because this is the game. Because I don't think they play each other again.
Not for a while.
Until the Six Nations starts. I don't know. I have to look at the head schedule. But this was a big game to tell Andy, hey, put your hand up.
Yeah, I think individually, no one is going to come out of that thinking I've earned a spot in a national side.
Ollie Yeager, though. He's going straight in.
Probably. I mean, that's where they got him, right?
Yeah.
You'd know more than that than me. Is that the plan, do you think?
Yeah, from what I've read about the game
and
listened to about the game, like commentators and stuff like that, like as soon as he came onto the field, everything kind of changed for the scrum.
Yeah, I think just Leinster will feel like job done. Like whatever, we'll take the win. I think Munster will feel like they've got the weapons to beat Leinster, but the handling errors from both sides were just pretty I know the conditions, but they were pretty terrible. So I think both teams will think, whatever, move on. I don't think a lot of players will be thinking that was my chance to get into an Ireland squad, because there's a lot of games left to play against big opposition from both of them. So yeah, we'll see. I think Harry Byrne might start for Ireland.
I don't know. I really don't know.
That's hard to call.
It's between Jack, Harry, and Kieran.
Yeah. Kieran Craftley.
All those. What did you say?
You called him that manager a few weeks ago, that coach, and Kieran Frawley or whatever. Never mind.
It's Kieran. His name's Kieran Frawley. That's his name. The Leinster guy's Kieran Frawley.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I got that right now. I'm not gonna make that mistake again.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I think it's between those three, unless Ross Byrne gets healthy again. Then I think if Ross Byrne's healthy, I think Andy's just gonna play it safe, and he's just gonna put him in there.
I'm excited to talk about Six Nations predictions. Let's put a pin in that.
Okay.
Because talking about Ireland and England is going to be a bit interesting.
Any other games you want to talk about here?
I think it was interesting that Edinburgh beat Glasgow, because I've got high hopes for Glasgow, and they've let me down there. Like, I feel like it happens a lot with the Welsh teams as well. It's like when Cardiff are doing good, then like Dragons will beat them, and it's like, you've ruined our season, Dragons. Could you not have just let us win? And it's kind of the same with Ospreys in the previous seasons. It's like when they're the only Welsh team doing well, they're beating a lot of teams, and suddenly they'll lose to Dragons, and you're like, how did that happen, boys? Like,
I wonder what the atmosphere is like
a derby game
for in Scotland.
Oh, I think
I can assume what they're like. Well, I've seen what they're like.
Yeah,
but in Scotland, like, I wonder where it's like, if they're playing in Glasgow or if they're playing in Edinburgh.
Yeah,
like where it's crazier, where it gets more spicy, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I wish we had a Scottish person here to talk about that. I think it seems to me like
we
Glasgow,
need a Scottish specialist.
We do a bit, yeah, because I think Glasgow seemed to me have more of a genuine rugby following around Glasgow Warriors specifically.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they won what was the Pro 12 at the time, and Edinburgh historically they were similar to Dragons for a number of years, right? They were bad,
yeah,
but now they're good.
They've always been a good team for as long as I've been watching.
Yeah. So the last 2-3 years they've been pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
They brought some good players in, and I think it feels like their fan base is getting behind them. So I would have said historically Glasgow were the better team. Well, obviously they were, but I think their fans were probably a bit more diehard. Maybe they get better attendances, but maybe it's a bit more balanced now, which is good. I think what Scotland are doing in their club level is smart, right? Keeping those two teams, just making sure that they've got the right amount of players. So yeah, I'm kind of jealous.
Did you watch any of that Shark Stormers game?
I didn't watch that. No.
I watched the second half of it.
Oh yeah?
There's some scary looking thing, like some spooky players. They look good.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. What's his name? Damian Williams?
Williams.
See, we need a South African specialist too.
Yeah.
He was good. Like, really scary good. I'm looking like, I know, because Ireland's going in there in the summer.
Yeah.
So I've been keeping an eye on all these teams.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
When I saw the Bulls play their first couple of games, they are some big boys. They are fucking massive. So yeah, anyway. When we talk about predictions, yeah.
And also Etzebeth got injured, but
yeah.
Anyone else? Any other games there?
We watched a game this morning.
Yeah, but I hate blowout games.
Yeah, we watched Bath and Leicester.
Yeah, got up 8 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, we did. Pitch black outside, so you pull up. And yeah, it was annoying, because I think Finn Russell not being in a Bath team, like, you notice the difference, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bath are supposedly league contenders. Leicester are a little bit lower. They're not in the top 4 at the minute.
Yeah.
So I thought that would have been not an easy win for Bath, but you thought the momentum was with them.
I was expecting more of a war in this game.
Yeah.
And it kind of like dragged me out of the game at halftime.
Yeah.
Because of the score difference.
I kind of lost interest by halftime a bit. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's two teams I'm just not totally in love with.
Yeah. I think when Finn Russell plays, Bath are a different team. They're really exciting. Their backline's doing stuff. Leicester looked more physical, and they looked hungrier as well. Like Mike Brown was having a game.
Mm-hmm.
Old Mikey Brown was having a hell of a game. Freddie Stewart was playing decently well.
He's got to be like, what, 38, 37?
Something like that, yeah. But he's still good, man. He was everywhere, eh?
I think he should have went to the World Cup.
No.
Oh, 100%.
What?
Look how good he is.
No. He's too old.
He's not going to have your flashy attack, but neither does Freddie Stewart. Freddie Stewart catches balls.
That's all he does.
And most of the time makes his tackles.
Yeah. I think that maybe there's just an English fullback drought, eh?
Maybe.
Yeah, I can't think
Because I can't think of, yeah.
Yeah. It's Freddie Stewart or Mike Brown. That's it. That's the only two choices.
There's probably some English guy in England like,
Probably.
fucking.
Yeah. How dare you forget me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
These fucking idiots.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll take that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was an okay game. It kind of, I was expecting a bit more physicality from Bath, like you said. A bit more of an arm wrestle. But yeah, they didn't really ever look threatening, did they? Bit sad.
No.
Oh, well.
Tomorrow the games look pretty good too. Ospreys Cardiff. Who's gonna win that one?
I'm excited for that one. I think Ospreys. When this has happened, when Ospreys and Cardiff have both been playing well, Ospreys tend to edge it because they've got a bit more in their pack. Cardiff's backline is way more exciting as far as I'm concerned, and Cardiff have got some really exciting youngsters. But I think Ospreys will know that, and they'll be defensively sharp. So I think Ospreys will edge it. But I'd like Cardiff to win.
I think Cardiff's gonna win this game.
Oh, why?
They're just gonna win it.
Okay.
I don't know.
Just feeling. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, I wish I was optimistic, but I'm not.
Munster going to Connacht.
Yeah. What do you think?
Oh man, I think Connacht can win this one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Tell me why.
They're just strong at home.
They are.
And they're due for a performance. And Munster's got some injuries.
Yeah, they do.
They got a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
So I haven't looked at the team sheets, but I'm just like gut feeling.
It's got some feelings.
Yeah, I think Connacht's had it rough for the last like month.
They have.
Yeah, so I think they're in due.
Some close losses, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think. I think you could be right. I think Munster will be hurting a bit from that Leinster defeat, though, and I think they'll go out there with a point to prove. So I'm not so confident Connacht would win.
I know they're starting. I think it's Sam Pendergast.
Oh, okay.
No, sorry, that's the wrong game. Talk about Leinster. Sorry, I'm looking at the Leinster Ulster thing here.
No, there is a Prendergast in the Connacht.
In Connacht, yeah. They're brothers.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and he's good too.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Too many.
He's a forward though. He's a big boy.
Yeah. Well, his brother's a big boy.
Yeah.
Even though he's a 10, like you said, he's lanky. He's got to fill out a bit, but he's a big boy.
So the correct game I was talking about, Leinster Ulster.
Yeah.
Yeah, tomorrow they're starting Sammy there. Old Beanpole Sam.
Yeah.
Pendergast.
Do you think that's to let the other boys rest kind of thing, or do you think that's to let him have his chance? Or?
Yeah, I still think that Leinster will win this game though.
Yeah, I think so.
They could put out a D team.
Yeah, their depth is insane.
It's crazy.
It's insane, isn't it? Like, and you would say that Prendergast is probably their fourth choice 10, and he's still one of the best players.
He's their fourth choice 10.
One of the best players in the under 26 nations, like comfortably.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Ulster need a 10. Like Leinster's got 4 10s.
Just share a 10.
Share a 10.
Yeah, give one to Ulster.
Ulster could use one.
Just just let him put the shirt on for the game.
Because they've been riding Freddie Burns for a long time.
Looking tired.
He's looking tired.
All the Burns
He's
brothers.
got nothing left.
No.
Leicester's just got like fly halves flying out of their pockets.
Yeah. John Cooney's pretty old as well, isn't
he? Yeah. He might be 33, 34. Yeah. They've been riding those guys. Yeah. Leinster's just hoarding all the players.
Yeah. I like Ulster as well. So I would like them to win, but I just can't see it.
It's like we said, there's no one that hates Ulster.
No. Good guys. There's guys also there.
There's got to be one guy out there I want to meet him. If you hate Ulster, like please message us, get in contact with us. We want to talk to you. We want to know what's going on in your mental psyche.
Yeah.
Like we want to know
who hurt you.
Who hurt you.
Yeah, that you would hate sweet little Ulster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
the darlings of the URC.
He was on vacation with his family.
Yeah.
In Belfast.
Jacob Stockdale mugged him.
Took his ice cream.
Knocked his child. I actually watched an interview with Jacob Stockdale the other day, And you see a player on the field and you kind of get an idea of what their personality and their voice is in your head. And then he did this interview and he's just like the nicest guy. And I was like, that's a shame. It's really nice.
They usually are.
Oh yeah, they're nice. Yeah,
Unless you're like James Haskell, bullying people all over the place.
Yeah, he's nice though.
James Haskell gives me hardcore high school bully vibes.
Yeah.
Every time I listen to him talk, I'm like, this guy like bullied guys in high school.
Do you think it's like the private school thing, or is it just
Well, I don't really know about the private school life over there. So we kind of really don't kind of have that kind of system at all.
Right.
I think we have like one private school here in the
Canada?
city. No.
Oh, okay.
In city here, but
Yeah.
so it's not really kind of like rich kids and poor kids all go to the same school mostly in Canada. And they all hang out. So we'll have rich kids hanging out with poor kids. It's not really
No, it's not, is it?
Not a segregated system.
You don't have the class system, do you?
No, you have kids that live on the north side hanging out with kids that live on the south side.
Yeah.
So, no, you just have different cliques. You'd have like hockey guy cliques or, stuff like that.
Yeah, the hockey jocks.
But we don't have, it's a totally different culture, so I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to speculate. That there's been talk to death, all the rich kids playing English rugby. I think it's changing, though. I think it's changing for the better. Looks like there's a lot more kids who aren't privately educated playing rugby in England. Probably a good thing.
Do they have rugby teams for, like, public schools? Like, will a public school have a rugby team?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, not... Yeah, I should think... I don't know. I grew up in Wales, so, yeah. I think so. Yeah, it depends where you are. I know in the West Country, like in England, it's pretty big.
What about Wales?
You got to be careful, though, because the word public school in the UK means private school. So even it's concealed beneath layers of capitalist bullshit. Yeah, I know. So, yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah.
Rugby.
Yeah. All right. USC, very nice. Gallagher Prem, competitive, unpredictable, very nice.
Yeah, that's a crazy race in the Prem.
I'm enjoying it, yeah. Except today's game was a letdown for that reason. I wanted to see some Gallagher Prem.
Well, that's just how unpredictable it was. We were both expecting a fight.
Yeah.
And then it was kind of like the second half. Like Bath were...
They came back. They fought back a bit.
Yeah, it was just too late.
It was too late.
They just let too much in the door in the first half.
They did.
And but it's still like, it's just... I don't know. I can't predict who's going to win that.
Yeah, it was unpredictably unpredictable.
Yeah.
That it was one-sided.
Everyone can beat everyone. That's pretty good in my books there.
Yeah, you were saying the Saracens are going to win, and then I pointed out their league position.
I still think that... Yeah,
a lot of teams except Falcons and maybe Gloucester could still win. So, yeah.
Saracens also have that experience.
They do, yeah.
And I think when it gets to the point where push comes to shove, or the knockout stage games...
They love a playoff
if they get in there.
Yeah.
Which I'm pretty sure they will.
Yeah.
They'll have that experience will kick in.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, there's not a lot of the teams that maybe Exeter have that because they've been...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, you're right. I think Saracens are consistently playoff champions, aren't they? They know what they're doing.
Saracens or Exeter. Those are the two teams I'm going to go for.
All right. Save your predictions, though.
Yeah.
No, but I don't disagree. All right. So we want to talk about some news, gossip.
Yeah.
Warren Gatland.
Yeah. Tell me about this.
Okay. So I think it was in the Telegraph, and I'm going to paraphrase a lot here.
It's fine.
He suggested some law changes. Some of them I agree with, some of them I disagree with. Some of them have a little bit of a New Zealand flavor, like...
Do you have them listed out?
I do.
Let's go over the law changes he wanted.
Okay, so one of the ones he wanted was he wants to get rid of calling the mark. So he thinks that, if you're kicking into the opposition 22 and someone can call a mark, it just takes away the point of putting pressure on the fullback. I think I agree with that.
I 100% agree with him too.
With that, yeah. I think we need... So one of the things he prefaced with was...
What was the origin of that law, though? Do you know why they brought that law in?
I don't. No.
It's just been there?
Yeah, forever.
Because I can't think...
I have no idea, actually.
I can't think of why that law is there.
Maybe it's a safety thing? Like if...
I think there's probably to...
If you're jumping for a high ball and you're isolated and there's 4 or 5 guys chasing after you in chaos, maybe it's a safety thing.
Would it be like to stop so much kicking, like because there's already a lot of kicking.
Maybe it's to slow the game down to remove like the kick tennis that's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just speculating. Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, because I was trying to think about when I read that, when he said that about the kick. I was like, yeah, why is that there? I didn't Google. I could have easily Googled it.
We could do it right now, and we're
Googled
sat here minutes on end going, why did he do it?
I wonder why that exists.
Why does this exist? Yeah, I haven't got a clue.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't disagree with him. It seems like a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
There might be an element of taking guys out in the air while they're jumping for the ball, but that seems to happen often enough. And they do referee that pretty well these days.
Yeah.
So even if even if you're touching the guy and you make him fall awkwardly, they are pretty harsh on that, which I agree with. That for me isn't a rugby incident. If you look like you're trying to grab a guy in the air and he lands on his neck, I think you've got to be pretty zero tolerance about that. And I think, relatively speaking, that's what's happening with the refereeing, right?
No, I totally agree.
I think he was talking about quicker scrum restarts. So a team will kind of walk slowly over to a scrum just to kind of save a bit of time, catch
But
their
that's
breath.
part of the strategy.
It is, exactly.
That's part of the game.
Yeah, it is part of the game. But
You're in the
not
lead.
to be part of the game.
You're in the lead and you want to be a cunt. You crawl over to the fucking scrum. That's like part of rugby.
Yeah, it is.
Like that's why we love it. Like you got the forwards being dickheads.
Yeah.
Like just strolling over to the scrum because they know they're in the lead. Like that's part of the game.
Right. Well, so is the call and the mark. It's part of the game.
Well,
get rid of it. I don't know how you referee that. Maybe you give people a timer. You say this scrum is starting in 5 minutes. You better be there, or
they get 5 minutes to start scrum.
Yeah, you
get 20 minutes to start this
Yeah,
scrum.
they put the kettle on and they do another thing. No, I don't know. Like the kicking clock timer, maybe something like that. Like you better be at the scrum, otherwise you're not getting the ball.
I don't know. I keep hearing about the scrum. It's too slow. It's slowing the game down. I have never once watched a game and complained about the scrum.
Yeah, you're front row though.
When they are,
you love it.
Nah. Well, I don't like being in them. It sucks, but
yeah.
What was I saying? Yeah, every time I'm watching a game, I've never sat there and be like, "Oh, this is stalling the game." I've gotten mad because the other team was taking their time.
Yeah.
I've gotten frustrated with that.
Yeah.
But that's part of the game.
Yeah.
That's part of the. There's so many elements in rugby to keep your advantage, gain an advantage.
Yeah. There's a mental battle happening all the time, right?
Yeah, there's so many variables.
Which is why it's better than league.
Well, yeah.
Which we know.
Well, yeah, it's that's the whole beauty of it.
Yeah.
Right? Name another sport like that. Can't.
People always tell me, like NFL, it's like chess. It's like, no, chess is like chess. Like games have different strategies. Rugby consistently has gamesmanship in every facet of the game, and the line out, in the scrum, even in the chaotic, in the breakdown. There's always things teams do which are pushing the edge of the law, or trying to see what you can get away with. And in games where the rules are simpler and easier, like football, soccer, it's difficult to do that because it's very clear cut what you're trying to do. You're not surrounded by guys in a little dark corner of a scrum where you can hide what you're doing, right? So I think I do agree with you. I like that about rugby, but I think we've got to cut out some of the deliberate time wasting. Maybe I just like Gatlin so much I'd agree with anything he said though. So that's the second thing.
I'm struggling to see this excessive time wasting in the game. You're only frustrated by this stuff when your team is losing. That's the thing about it.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
And when your team's winning, you want them to do that.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a problem. Leave the scrum alone. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? You persuaded me with that very simple sentence. Leave it alone. Leave Brittany alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
With my vocabulary of 14 words.
Yeah, you didn't even have to do a lot. I think it just
I
like to cut your jib.
What was else he talked about there?
He was talking about loads of stuff. He wouldn't shut up. So he was talking about the number of substitutes used, how South Africa have weaponized the bench.
Oh, they weaponized. Turned the game into a crime scene.
Into a bloody crime scene, mate. Yeah.
He made a really interesting point when I was reading about that.
Yeah.
he said that the game used to be about, wearing out the forwards and then the backs would take over.
Yeah, the last 20 minutes, everyone's so tired, the backs just take the piss and run around.
And
right?
that was supposed to be, how the game progressed.
Okay.
And I thought that was a very interesting point. I was like, now that you have like teams like South Africa just putting a whole new forward pack on there, that kind of goes away.
Yeah.
You're kind of stealing an element of the game. So I was kind of on the fence when he I think you should be able to do whatever you want with your bench. If you want all scrum halves on your bench, you should be able to put all scrum halves on your bench. I don't give a fuck. But I thought that was a really interesting point. Like, yeah, you're taking away. I think that's why, like, a lot of like test matches too are very close. Usually, are they usually low scoring? I don't know. I feel like they are.
Yeah, they're lower. I think
we could be completely wrong.
No, I think test match rugby is a little bit lower scoring than your average club game. Depending on the conditions, depending on the team. But yeah, I would say so.
And the ideal is to tire out the big guys too, so they're not hitting as hard.
No,
because these guys that are playing rugby now are bigger, stronger, faster.
Oh yeah.
And then they're hitting each other like trucks.
Yeah.
And then you just bring in a fresh pack.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just not that.
So. I have to. Okay, so first thing, he's like, the game is supposed to be about forwards getting tired so the game can open up. I don't know where this like rule book of what the game is supposed to be is, but people reference it in the sense of like, this is the spirit of the game, this is the philosophy of rugby. I think that's subjective a bit these days, right?
100% is subjective.
So when he says this is how the game is supposed to be, I disagree with that because it's like saying there's some code of rugby that we all should adhere to. Like, I never read that, right? But I think he's got a point because for me, player welfare is the important point there, right?
Yeah.
Like if everyone's tired and you bring on a 20-stone monster and he just knocks someone on the ground and they're tired, you're much more likely to get injured if you're exhausted against someone who's fresh and like ready to put in a big hit. So I think there's a player welfare consideration there. And I think I agree with your point though. If you want to put 9 scrum halves on the bench or 8 forwards, I don't care. That's your choice, right? So I've got no problem with South Africa doing what they did. They're playing within the rules, and everyone always seems to get salty when people win because they've manipulated the existing rules. It's not manipulate's the wrong word. They're playing completely within the rules, right? They didn't do anything wrong.
They're just doing something that you haven't thought of.
Exactly. Like,
or
it worked, so people are pissed off, right?
And in South Africa's case, they have the players to do what most teams can't.
Yeah, really athletic back rowers.
And they can trust they can change them out at halftime.
Yeah.
And they're not worried about losing quality either.
Exactly.
Because a good example is Ireland.
Yeah.
Will keep their props on as long as possible.
Yeah.
Can you play into the next day, please?
Yeah.
Right? Because what comes in after is not as good quality as what is there to start.
Yeah.
Right? So they can just bring in another pack.
Yeah.
They have that advantage.
Yeah. So
why not use it?
We're just jealous of South Africa's
It is a jealousy.
It is.
The 7-1 anger is jealousy.
Yeah. But I do think if we ignore that context and look at the use of the bench generally, I would be in favor of having the bench only used for injury replacements, totally, or you have 1 or 2 sub replacements as impact subs. But I'm not saying that because I'm annoyed at what South Africa did. I think what they did is awesome. And I thought it was exciting. It gave us a really fun World Cup talking point, right? I loved that.
Yeah.
It gave us a nice bit of drama. But, if you said tomorrow, we're getting rid of the bench and you can only use it as an injury replacement, not for impact subs, I'd be fine with that. And I think that would make the game more exciting because people are tired. The game does open up in the last 20 minutes, right?
I'm just worried about playing time because there's a lot of players I want to see play.
Okay.
And because the way the bench and the substitution is the way it is, you get to see a lot more players play.
That's true.
But that's totally a personal thing.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree with that either.
Because then you're cutting out a lot of potential playing time.
Yeah.
For a lot of players.
That's true. I didn't think of that. So you're an island and you want to give someone a chance to kind of step up.
Leinster's got 4 10s. What are they supposed to do?
Yeah.
If you can only bring them on for injuries.
Maybe you just have a bench full of 10s and you give each of them sort of 5 minutes.
Just all 10s.
Yeah. That'd be hilarious.
So that's my only thing about it. I don't know.
That's a good point. I think always I'm thinking of player welfare first, but you've made some good points as well. So I think you keep the bench, but you just reduce the number of subs you're allowed. And I don't care if it's forwards or backs. whatever you want to do with that.
I wonder if they will bring rules into the subs.
I think they will.
Yeah, it's coming.
I think they will. So the main point of Gatlin's article was just speeding up the game. And as much as that is sometimes it sounds like jealous New Zealanders of South Africans, I think he's got a point.
Well, he is a Kiwi.
Exactly. I think he's got a point. And there was a little bit of saltiness towards Argentina saying that teams who kick more have higher success rate, and they do, right? Like statistically speaking, if you kick more, you're more likely to win.
Just compete better.
That's what I think. Like,
yeah,
if that's what other teams are doing it, why aren't you doing it, right? And he said that Argentina beat Wales in the World Cup because the amount they kicked, which may be true, maybe not. I was like, why didn't you kick just as much? But maybe his point is there's too much kicking in the game, and the way you can reduce that is you get rid of the mark call thing, you get rid of so many substitutes on a bench, you get the forwards to the scrum quicker. It just speeds everything up, so you're forced to play a more open game.
So when I keep hearing this, we got to speed the game up. We got to speed the game up. What era in history of rugby was this just the fastest? Like you couldn't even watch the sport because it was just so fast. Like what era was it? In the 70s and the 60s? It never
existed.
It didn't exist, did it?
It didn't exist. It never.
Because I want to. We got to speed the game up. We got the game. It's changed so much. I'm like, okay, so what era? Where was this golden era of rugby where it just there was no whistles?
Yeah.
There was nothing happened. The scrum took you didn't even see the scrum because it happened so fast. Like where the fuck?
Everyone sprinted to the scrum, headbutted each other, rolled the ball out, and got on with it.
Yeah, and it was done in 3 seconds.
Seconds. It was done. Yeah, there wasn't even
every
push.
kick was just every conversion or everything penalty was just a drop kick.
Yeah,
so we can keep the ball.
Yeah, good. Get back into it.
They weren't fucking making sandcastles for 9 minutes. Like where I want to know in this area because everyone's complaining about how slow this game is.
Yeah.
And I want to when and then and it's about the changes that they made.
It wasn't the fucking 90s, let me tell you.
Yeah, so I want to know what everyone was referring to.
I want to tell you statistics. I read something the other day about ball in play time, and it has steadily increased. This is right now in the last sort of 5-10 years. This is the most ball in play time we've ever seen in rugby union.
Wow, that's a shocker.
Right? No, you're totally right. There was never a period where rugby was like this swashbuckling. No, you know what is that game? Rugby league. You want to talk about less scrums? That's rugby league.
I don't want to talk about diet rugby.
Get it away. Exactly. Don't keep your diet pop sport. No, thank you. Give me dirty scrums lying on the ground. And they have. I think the bunker system is great for speeding the game up. Actually.
Yeah. And they're complaining.
Yeah.
You can't do it. You can't speed the game up at all. Someone's going to complain about it.
Yeah.
The bunker. Yeah. The ref doesn't have to take 9 minutes to make a call.
Yeah.
They just gave it to some guys in office and everyone's complaining about that. It's just complaining.
They've subcontracted the ref's job so he's got more time to actually referee the live game, and people are like, it's slowing the game down.
I thought the bunker was genius.
I thought it was great. I still love it. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And they don't make the right call, but refs, that's the glory of rugby.
Yeah.
Right? The reffing's even a factor.
Who's got a better chance of making a right call? The guy who's sweating on the field who has to make a quick decision, or the guy who's got a full 10 minutes with, reversible camera angles and slowing down time camera angles? He's going to make a better decision than the ref, even if you don't agree with it, right? Objectively speaking.
I know I've heard some bitching about the TMO or the bunker. The people that are actually making these decisions on the fly up there don't have the experience.
No, but those guys are international referees sat in the TMO booth a lot of the time. All of the time. They're the referees you see playing on refereeing on the field. Yeah.
I don't know. I thought the bunker system was great.
I love it.
Because he can just send a guy off and he doesn't have to deal with it. He can focus more on the game.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to dissect a hit.
Yeah.
Just let three people do that.
Yeah.
Right?
And my favorite things is when they find out if it's a red or a yellow, and the ref gets it, and he calls the captains over, and he's delivering bad news. Oh, sorry, I've got some bad news for you, mate. Oh, yeah, it's a red. Sorry, mate.
Doctor.
Doctor
trying to tell someone that a family member died.
Yeah.
He didn't make it to surgery.
He's not coming back. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And then he has to go tell the whole team, oh no, not Jimmy.
Yeah, it's that. Yeah. I don't know.
I like it.
Was there anything else that he brought up too? The Gatlin.
I think that's about all that was interesting as far as I'm concerned. It was a lot about kicking, though, speeding the game up kicking, but I think we covered the salient points, really. Yeah. I wanted to mention briefly Tuolangi being out for the start of the Six Nations.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you were going to tell me that in 2014 or 2000, 15,
Yeah, it would have been a big
2013, I would be like, holy shit, he's out.
deal. Yeah.
Now, it's like,
Yeah, fair enough.
he's just not like the player that he used to be. I think everyone kind of knows that. I think he even knows that.
I think he's great when he plays. I think he's still got it, but he's so injured so frequently that it's kind of irrelevant, you know?
There's a lot of injuries right now. The Six Nations, I think most of the teams are going in with a lot of injuries. Like, who's the healthiest?
Who's the healthiest team? That's hard to say, actually, because I don't know enough about French rugby to comment on that. Wales aren't in bad shape. Actually, no, we don't have any 10s, so that's not good. I'm joking.
Callum Sheedy, you think he's going to make a comeback?
He could do. He's playing all right for Bristol. Yeah, we got... So Sam Costello looks like he won't make the Six Nations, and then this kid at Scarlet's, Lloyd Evans. Sorry, Johan Lloyd. Not Lloyd.
I don't like Costello.
You don't like Costello?
I just don't like how he looks. He's not good looking enough to be a fly half. That's how you grade fly halves. Well, they gotta be like fit looking,
I
good
can
looking.
think of a lot of ugly fly halves who are pretty good. Contemporary fly halves.
For international rugby?
For international rugby. I think the days of the gorgeous fly halves, the Danny Ciprianis, the Gavin Hensons is over. Welcome to the ugly fly half era.
Ugh. It's true, isn't it?
I think you're living in... When was this fast rugby? When were the beautiful fly halves? Maybe it's a myth.
Fuck, called me out.
Maybe, mate.
Well, let's get into the next part. Is
all right.
Our agenda.
Yeah, so...
Let's do some predictions. Okay. Some 2024 predictions.
For this. Yeah. So let's talk about...
I wrote down a list here.
Okay. So let's start with the appetizer, the URC, I think. Yeah?
Who do you think is going to win it?
Yeah. Nice, easy one. Who's going to win the URC? In 2024.
The Bulls.
I was going to say Bulls. I've got it written down right in front of me.
I kind of want to... I didn't write anything down. It's hard.
It is hard. And it feels counterintuitive.
I think the Stormers are kind of building up too.
They beat the Bulls.
Yeah.
They're
looking good.
So, yeah, we're probably wrong.
We are probably wrong.
But it's nice to not say Leinster. It's just nice to not say it.
I would... logically, you're going to say Leinster.
Yeah, I think so.
Logically.
I think they've learned some lessons from last season as well.
But gut feeling, the Bulls or the Stormers.
Yeah, the South Africans in the playoffs, they're a bit cheeky, you know? They kind of...
Munster could do it, but they're missing that dog this year. They're missing that grunty fight. They have injuries. There's just something about them that's not getting them over the edge.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. I think
they're missing something this year.
There's
just something not clicking.
Not yet.
They're still a great team.
Well, they had a pretty bad start to the season last year. You know?
Yeah, and then they picked up.
And to be honest, I thought that semi against Leinster, that could have gone either way. And I feel like even that final was close. So they didn't win it convincingly. They deserved it, but they didn't win it super. It was super close up there.
I don't know. I think when I see Munster play more of the South African teams,
I think that'll be a really good test in good conditions. Yeah, totally.
But right now, if I had to put my money down, I would probably put it on the Bulls.
Even though the Stormers are looking a bit scary again, eh?
Yeah, I'd probably say the Bulls.
Yeah, I mean that's what I've written down, so I'm gonna stick with it as well. Yeah, for similar reasons. They're just huge. They're just all massive and scary.
What city do they play in? Do you know?
It's called Bull City. Yeah, Bull City. Is it
Bull City Bulls winning the Celtic League?
Oh, it hurts my soul. I'm gonna have to. I think it's Pretoria. I think it's Pretoria a province or a city.
It's a city.
Maybe
it's the capital
do a little
city.
Geography before we do our little talk next time, eh? The Bulls are a professional rugby union team based in Pretoria.
Pretoria.
Yeah, Pretoria.
Yeah, but that's what I'm gonna go with. The Bulls.
Yeah, me too.
That's my safe.
Yeah. That's my not Leinster pick, which is fun.
What about Six Nations?
Oh, okay.
Team by team. Interesting.
Get into it. Team by team.
Well, no. Who do you think is going to win?
Who do I think is going to win? I think Ireland are going to win.
You think Ireland going to win the Six Nations?
Yeah, I think if you haven't got Dupont, because Dupont wants to play sevens for a year, then you're missing something pretty special. If you're France, and they would have been it was either them or Ireland, and I think Ireland are going to figure out their 10 question mark quicker and easier than people think because they've got such a strong pack. They've got such a good platform for a 10 to play behind. I don't think they need to be incredible immediately, right? They're getting a bit of an easy ride, I think. So Ireland. And I think they'll win it comfortably. I can't see anyone beating them.
No.
No.
I'm going to call England.
Oh, yeah.
Scary England.
Yeah.
I think it's happening. I think there's a lot of figuring out that Ireland have to do.
Okay.
Before they like get back on the horse. There's some kinks they have to work out. It's going to be a different team.
Yeah.
Well, not a totally different team, but there's going to be I think they have a lot of like formulas in the team that they have to figure out before they're going to be like super good again. They could win. 100%. Yeah. They could be way better.
Yeah, it's not an easy
but I think
call,
they have a lot of kinks to work out and figure out before they really get on the horse. So I think England's already there. I think they got the players ready to go.
Right.
So
how does England beat Ireland? Like what they got to do to beat Ireland? I think
how they've always done it.
Just outmuscle them.
Outmuscle them.
They beat England.
That's when you look at the World Cup games, you can see what's the word I'm looking for? The pathway that England is building up towards.
Their trajectory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they have a history of like bullying Ireland.
They do. I think Ireland probably in terms of physicality can match England, but I think what England will do is they'll pick maybe someone like George Ford. They'll get him, doing drop goals at every opportunity, just keep that scoreboard ticking and rely on a strong defense to, stop Ireland getting a joy out of it. That's kind of my...
Watch, we're just going to be both wrong. It's going to be Scotland that's going to win it. Grand Slam. They're just so mad about the World Cup.
Well, Wales are either going to win the Grand Slam or lose to Italy, so...
That's... Man, to be a Welsh fan.
It's exciting.
To be
Every
a
day
Welsh
is
fan.
different.
You don't know if you're going to get the... Like, you're going to come in last place or you're going to get Grand Slam.
Nothing
it could be
in
either.
Between. Nothing in between.
And they never win. Like, I think when they beat Australia in the World Cup...
Yeah.
That was like the first time in a long time they did crush someone because they usually just get their asses kicked and somehow win.
Yeah.
They're like just the jammiest wins.
Yeah, we're getting absolutely ground into the dust. and someone will sneak a try against the run of play or something.
They're like, at the last score is like they're 14 points ahead. You're like, how'd that happen? Like,
yeah.
Anyways, let's get into these. Let's talk about like all the unions here. Let's find out where we think they're going to be, how 2024 is going to work out for them. Let's start off with our the rugby championship teams. Argentina. How do you think their 2024 is going to be?
I think Argentina are going to... I think they'll beat Australia a couple times, back to back. And I think it's hard. Maybe I should say I don't know enough about it to be confident. I think that they've got enough exciting players.
They lost their coach.
Yeah.
Checa left.
He did.
Yeah.
That's a big deal, actually. That's a good point.
But I know he's been working in tandem with the guy who took over.
Yeah.
Like he was already there.
Right.
And I think that was the whole plan the whole time was for him. I don't know. I can't remember his name.
Right.
To take over. I don't know. I personally, you know what? Every time you mention team of the year, it should be Argentina. Because what they have to work with and where they are as a union is super impressive.
They punch incredibly above their weight.
Yeah.
And that makes me sad living in North America. You've got like Major League Rugby in the US and Canada, and their national team's dog shit. Like, what are they doing?
Argentina doesn't has half of what every tier one or a quarter whatever tier one nation has, and they come fourth in the Rugby World Cup.
They're not even playing in Super Rugby.
They're beating New Zealand at home.
Yeah.
They could beat anyone.
Yeah. They do have a good rugby tradition, which maybe US and Canada don't have as much of.
They don't even have a professional team in any high league.
Yeah, how are they doing this, right?
Yeah. How are they doing? So every time when you say who is the team of the year, it should be technically Argentina.
Yeah, just for punching well above their weight all the time.
Because what they accomplish and what they have to use to accomplish that is just
especially
it shouldn't exist.
Yeah.
Like look at Italy.
Yeah,
look at fucking Italy.
Could we help them anymore?
Yeah.
Could we help them anymore? Like, come on, do something.
Argentina are training via Zoom and then beat the fucking All Blacks.
Yeah.
Italy has fucking NASA working with them or whatever, and they're still so I think for 2024, we're gonna see the same
Same.
from Argentina.
I think so.
Not a bad team, not a spectacular team,
Punching above their weight.
but I can totally. They're going to upset someone in the championship. I think they'll definitely beat Australia.
I think they'll beat them twice.
Yeah.
And that's more of a comment on Australia than Argentina, to be honest.
And I'll call that they're going to beat New Zealand or South Africa this year.
Oh, that's a big call.
Yeah.
That's a big call.
They're good.
Yeah, they are good. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Australia, how do you think their 2024 is going to go?
I think they're going to leave rugby union as a sport, fully embrace hurling, and never look back. No, I've got no hopes for them. I think they're in real big trouble, like on the field, off the field. I think we were talking earlier about if Michael Checker goes back to Australia and if that sorts their problems out.
Oh, I just don't like that idea.
Yeah, it's like old wine in a new bottle, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I can't see it being a good thing, really.
They need innovation, and he exhausted all his avenues. So I don't know what he brings to the table. Like you went down this road before.
It's an old voice, right? Yeah.
So I just don't.
No,
not for me.
No, I feel bad for him because the world is a poorer place without a good Australia rugby union team. But I sounds depressing. I can't see them coming back ever from this. They're just the other sports they have in their country, like Aussie rules and league. They're so popular and money making, and I don't see a way back from. Because they're not competitive.
Which is depressing because it feels like a whole Lions tour is going to get wasted.
Yes, that's what we were talking about.
Yeah.
What is this Lions tour going to be like? Like, doom and gloom. And maybe if we had an Australian specialist here and they could tell me different, that would be great. But like, this is going to be the worst Lions tour ever.
That's what it's looking like.
Yeah.
Hopefully something happens. Some sort of jolt of life.
Maybe.
Because I'm worried. It's like a big thing every 4 years.
Yeah.
Like I look forward to this.
Yeah, right.
I don't want it to be a tour where it's already been called.
Yeah. That would be the worst thing for the Lions as a brand as much as I hate that.
Because I'm not gonna get up. I'm gonna have to get up early to watch those games.
Yeah, you are.
Right?
Well, me too. Yeah.
3 o'clock in the morning, 2 a.m.
Yeah.
to watch those games. Like they got to be worth it.
Like if the first test is a blowout, I'm not going to get up at the crack of dawn to watch a second.
100%.
No way. So yeah,
I can't really call Australia right now. I don't know who their coach is. Yeah. I don't know anything. I just right now, it's not much.
It doesn't look good.
It doesn't look good at all. I don't think there's anyone. Saying that.
No, I don't think a lot of Australians would disagree with us. So. Yeah, no. What about New Zealand? New
Zealand in 2024, Scott Robertson at the helm. See, I have a feeling that he's going to have kind of a rude awakening.
Chosen one.
He's a really good Super Rugby coach.
Yeah.
But I don't know how his transition to Test Rugby is going to be. And he's cleaned house.
He's not just a good Super Rugby coach, though, is he? He's like incredible.
I feel like he's gonna be. In for a rude awakening.
Okay.
I feel like it's not gonna be as glorious as everyone in New Zealand's hoping for.
So we're thinking about the Rugby Championship game specifically.
Yeah, because that'll be the first thing that will come. That'll be the first stuff that'll come up.
I don't think anyone managing New Zealand right now, coaching New Zealand right now, would lose to Argentina or Australia, especially at home. So I think he's got a bit of an easy ride against those two teams. And I think that's a bit rude to Argentina, actually.
Yeah.
I think that's a bit rude. I take that back a little bit. But South Africa, world champions, a lot of depth. That'll be his acid test, I think.
They're going to have a rough... England's going there for the summer tours.
Right.
So that will be really interesting. I think England... England are going... I said England, right?
You did.
Yeah, I think England could pull it off, too.
That's it. Oh, okay. That's a big call.
Yeah, I just feel like he's been coaching a different game for so long.
That's what you're getting at. That the style of
rugby
do
you notice
so
how,
different.
Gatlin is such a good test coach?
But failed miserably at the Chiefs.
And then he went to the Chiefs, and it was a fucking disaster.
Yeah.
I personally, when I look at that, it's just almost two different games.
Right?
Yeah. So, that's why his style just couldn't mesh because it's completely two different games. And I feel like Scott Robertson is going to see that. I don't know.
Yeah. So he's not ready for the intensity, the physicality of Test rugby.
Because he's the first All Blacks coach in a long time that's gone, I think, straight from club to the All Blacks job.
He's a bit rude because he didn't coach Wales first.
Yeah, isn't that
You've got to come and do your dues in Wales.
Yeah,
it's rude not
they
to.
They could have done that too. They had an opening.
We wouldn't have minded.
I thought they were going to do it at one point. I was like, oh, if they get Scott Robertson in there.
I know. I think the game's moved on now, so it's not as prestigious a job as it used to be, sadly. But yeah, I know it's a bit rude. I thought you should have come and... It's like, you've got to kind of go and kiss the king's ring finger weird thing before you coach New Zealand,
Yeah, but if you're an All Blacks fan, I don't think you have anything to worry about.
No, I don't think so. That's why I'm not going to be too harsh on New Zealand.
They're what I call a conveyor belt union.
Yeah.
They just have so much high quality players
all the time.
Just they're producing it. So it doesn't matter how many the Northern Hemisphere steal or anything. They're always going to have another guy.
Yeah, they've definitely lost a few really important players. Like I was saying last week, Aaron Smith is probably, I'd say the best 9 in the world, even over DuPont in the World Cup. And losing him's a big deal. They've lost a lot of other good players. But you're right, they've got like this talent pool. The danger for me for New Zealand is they're kind of isolated now. Without Australia being competitive in Super Rugby, and South African teams joining the URC, it's like, who are we going to beat up now? Who are we going to play against? Who are actually going to give us enough? And they can play each other, but like you said, their style of rugby is pretty specific.
Yeah.
So they haven't got exposure to different styles, so they might get exposed internationally for that reason, right?
They might.
Yeah, they've isolated themselves.
I thought that was going to happen this World Cup, and it didn't.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, like when you watch Super Rugby...
Well, they didn't win it, though.
No, but their things, like they were very physical.
Yeah.
They were a strong team.
Yeah.
Their defense during the World Cup was incredible.
That's what always surprises me about New Zealand. The way Super Rugby looks, it's like no one can be fucked to defend. And
well,
then
you see
internationally,
so many...
they do.
Because you watch Super Rugby and you see all these like tries where guys kind of just walk in.
Yeah.
And you're like, were
you trying?
You would never see that in the Northern Hemisphere game.
No.
And like they just don't even give a fuck about defense.
No.
But when the All Blacks play,
like
their defense is incredible.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. And you're like, where did this come from?
I think the difference for me is they look beatable. Well, they were beaten in the World Cup, right? By France, by South Africa. So I think what's interesting now is not that they've gotten worse. Maybe they lost a couple of percent, but they didn't dip in quality massively. But the other teams have caught up, right? Ireland can beat them. France can beat them. South Africa, we knew could beat them. If England get to that stage where they can beat them as well, I'm so hopeful for Wales and Argentina, but there's enough teams now who've stepped up and their structure is so professional that they can expect to beat New Zealand. Like those scorelines in the games that New Zealand lost were close, and the games they won, the game against Ireland, right? Like if you remember the last World Cup, New Zealand hammered Ireland in the quarterfinal. Yeah. This time round, it wasn't so close.
Well, they had the 3 games that they were actually challenged in the World Cup.
Yeah.
They lost 2 and won 1.
Exactly.
And they barely won that one game.
Exactly.
So it wasn't a really good World Cup for them.
Yeah.
Performance. Like they played good.
I'm saying it was. I'm just saying the other teams have got better. I'm saying they played pretty well, Like,
oh, yeah,
they were
100%.
fun. Every game they played was good to watch, right?
But I definitely think England can go there.
Yeah.
I think since Ireland did it, I think that floodgates open. But I think it's going to take a little while before the New Zealand isolation
effect comes in. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think you could slowly start seeing it.
Yes, you can. I think in 10 years, we'll be talking about a different New Zealand if they don't change the Super Rugby structure.
Yeah, there's a couple things too. Like ever since the TMO has become more involved in the game, and the reffing has evolved more in the game too.
Yeah.
Like you've seen New Zealand losing.
Yeah.
Right. So their edge, because they play on the edge all the time.
Yeah.
Because they're just so rugby smart.
Yeah.
But they're getting caught for everything. Like their discipline is brutal.
Red card in a World Cup. Yeah.
They just.
Yeah.
And it's been a thing that's been talked about a lot.
Yeah.
But then you go to Super Rugby. What do they have? Like a fucking orange card or something? They have something that's something
talking
weird.
about that. That was something Gatland was talking about, was a card system where it's a 20-minute red card, right? And they're the only country that keep going on about it. And it's like, maybe you need to stop dishing out red cards to your own team, right? Like maybe you need to stop bashing people in the head instead of talking about a purple card or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think we'll just see a good New Zealand. I think they're going to have a rough. They'll definitely have a rough autumn tour when they come to Northern Hemisphere. Yeah, I think they'll get roughed around when they come up there.
Okay.
So
we'll see. South Africa.
See, they're another team too that's going to have a lot of changes. I think they're going to start. Oh, but Rassie's so smart.
I love Rassie.
And their coaching team is really good too.
Yeah. I can't see them. I don't think they're in a position. I don't think anything's changing enough for me to be worried about South Africa. I think they'll be a dominant force for.
And their club players look great.
They do.
What do you mean? Yeah. Ireland's going there and winning.
We'll see.
2 games on the hop. Pop, pop.
Didn't work for them so well.
They haven't beaten Ireland since 2016.
I don't think they're worried about it though. Like in the World Cup, they were like, we're gonna play, 7 forwards. We're gonna we're gonna try all these crazy tricks, like we talked about last week. Like they're not worried about it. They're gonna try some wild stuff. They're worried about winning a World Cup, and that's what they'll do.
They're gonna want to win that home series.
Yeah, I think they will.
No,
they'll try some experimental shit, lose the first game, then they'll win the second 2 games.
I think Ireland will figure themselves out in the Six Nations.
Yeah,
go down there and they're gonna do it.
I think the Ireland's problem is they have themselves figured out, and it's not good enough.
Mm-hmm. They got some kinks to work out.
All right.
I'm completely wrong. South Africa's gonna fucking.
I'm not. I wouldn't be worried if I was South Africa. I mean, I wouldn't be so confident, but I think they win that at home.
I'm kind of confident. I wouldn't be surprised if Ireland win a game down there.
Oh, they
or
win.
2.
I think it might win a game. I just don't think win the series.
All right, let's go through the Six Nations games.
All right, so
or Six Nations teams.
Start with the champions. Like I said, I think Ireland easily win this Six Nations, but I think that's because France haven't got their best player and the position isn't that good. Not that they're Ireland's really good as well, but I don't think they're quite as good as South Africa.
They got a lot of players coming down the pipeline.
Yeah, the depth
that are going to be stepping up.
Is wild.
Yeah. So that's I think in the last of the Munster-Leinster game, that Edwin Edogbo. Well, he got injured. I think it's his 3rd Achilles injury.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, so that doesn't look good at all. He could be out for months.
Yeah.
So I thought this was going to be his breakout year.
3 Achilles injuries as well. That's like looking like that's your career kind of territory.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Luckily, he has a brother. He's a younger brother.
Okay.
Yeah.
Carry on the torch. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think Ireland. I think will be for 2024. I think you're going to see more of the same.
I think that's what I'm saying. I'm not excited to the wrong word, but I don't think they're going to do anything unpredictable. They're going to keep being Ireland. We're going to talk a lot about, the 10, Johnny's gone, what are we going to do? And they'll bring someone in who'll be not as good, but with a pack playing in front of him that's dominant. He doesn't need to be as good, and he'll get better. So I can't see Ireland doing too much different.
I also think with Ollie Jaeger, he's going to be in that team. And now they're going to have like these 2, this gives Tag for a long break.
They do need backup props. That's why Ollie Jaeger is important.
They can they don't have to save, have Furlong play most of the game. I think they can take him off earlier now.
Yeah, that's what I agree with.
Because I don't think I think that's discrediting Finlay Bealham. I think he's great too.
Yeah.
But having the 3 really good options, really opens up their game plan a little bit more too.
That's how Ireland go forward now, right? Is depth that they trust, not just depth to give them experience.
Yeah.
And you're right about Finlay Bealham. I always forget the guy because as we talked about, Furlong and Porter are always playing most of every game. So Finlay Bealham, you do see him come on, but never enough to kind of change a game or to make the game his own. So hopefully he gets more game time, maybe gets a few starts. So yeah, Ollie Jaeger as well. You're right. Building depth in the prop position internationally is huge for them.
Yeah. So I think that's Italy.
What can you say? Come on, do something. Benetton are good.
Yeah.
Benetton are better.
This team.
Yeah.
Italy let me down.
I know.
They let me down all the time. I just want them to do something incredible.
Yeah.
And they always let me down.
I know, it's sad, isn't it? And people will talk him up. Squidge is they're getting in better.
Squidge, you know what? Fuck Squidge. He always makes me believe every year, every tournament. He makes me believe in fucking Italy.
He's so convincing.
And then I'm like, Squidge is right.
Yeah, and then they're shit.
And then they fucking shit.
And then when they beat Wales, it was like, oh, they've and it was amazing for them, but like we were shit.
Yeah.
And it was the same when Georgia beat us. Like we were shit. Like no offense to those teams, but they're preying on better teams at their weakest rather than being as good as they can be. That's what it feels like to me. And I know that's disrespectful, but we were shit at that time, you know? So it's hard for me to see that as a sign of genuine improvement in quality.
I know their under 20s, their youth rugby looks really good.
It always does. And people always say the same story, like, oh, they've got all these great players coming through. Like, okay, where are they?
The moral of all this
Yeah.
is Squidge Rugby has to stop gaslighting fucking rugby fans that Italy is going to be good.
Okay.
Because every time I watch this video, it's like, oh yeah, that's happening. Italy's going to do something.
Yeah.
And then they just ruin everything and I'm let down.
He's too positive, isn't he?
Yeah,
optimistic.
Well, he makes a lot of good points, but he's really convincing.
He is.
The guy should be a politician or something.
Yeah.
Because he makes you believe. I watch this team like, yeah, man, Italy could win the World Cup.
And he's doing like a game analysis. And
Italy's going to go to the moon. You can make me believe in anything, right? And it's just gaslight.
Italy for Six Nations.
Video effects, the tricks, like the CGI. I don't know.
Yeah,
but I'm tired of. I don't know.
I don't care until they do something. Is my point now.
Yeah,
do something and I'll perk up.
Like so many years of just nothing. It's like
beat two teams.
When is it going to start?
And I think
they should be better like 9-10 years ago.
You know, in their defense, everyone else has got a lot better as well. Like the game is changing. It's so much more professional. Like you're not going to...
In their defense, everyone has gotten better?
In Italy's defense, their inability to beat other teams is because, not that they've gotten worse, but other teams have gotten better.
Yeah, because they haven't grown.
I think they've kind of stayed the same.
Yeah.
You know, they've kind of stayed the same.
I don't know the ins and outs of their whole system, but something's like got to give.
Yeah.
Like why are they even in Six Nations?
Oh,
like
now he's saying it.
When are you like, especially for a fan in Canada, I'm not getting up at 8 in the morning, 7 in the morning to watch an Italy something game.
That's a good point. Like I will regularly not watch the Italy and whoever games because I watch the Italy Wales games because we've been so bad recently they might beat us and they did. But every other game I'm like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. You know? I'm not gonna watch them.
Yeah.
Because you know who's gonna win.
Yeah.
And I know I'm probably gonna have that attitude this year and then they'll do something great and they'll miss it.
Yeah.
But
you know, it's like the boy who cried wolf, isn't it? You know?
Too many times you get up.
Yeah.
Watch them, get excited, and then they just like...
They let you down.
I'll even cheer for them if they're beating Ireland.
I'll cheer for them against basically anyone else except Wales, yeah.
No, I just want them to be good.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah, we got your back, Italy, but, you know, give us something.
Yeah.
Throw us a bone.
Yeah,
please.
give us something back.
Yeah, please.
I feel like I've been given too much.
All this time and effort we put into you by sometimes watching your games. What have we got in return for it? Nothing. All right.
We talked about Ireland, Italy, Scotland.
Oh, Scotland. Always the bridesmaid. I'm not saying anything too unpredictable here today because I think it'll be, again, said this last week, Scotland have one of the most exciting teams I've ever had, but I still won't expect too much from them. I think they'll beat England because they seem to have a habit of doing that now. I think I don't think Warren Gatland loses to Scotland that often. Like under Pivac, Scotland got some kind of cheeky wins. And obviously Scotland beat us convincingly last time. But I think now that Gatland has had time to settle in, they're not going to beat us. Anyway, I'll talk about Scotland, not Wales. I think they'll beat maybe Wales, probably definitely Italy. They might shock France, but I think maybe fourth overall.
Yeah, I agree.
And I want to say something more positive, but their World Cup really disappointed me.
Yeah. There's just not much to talk about with them.
No, Stuart Hogg leaving maybe is a big deal, but I don't know. He wasn't at his best when he retired.
No.
So, yeah, maybe it's not a big deal. Finn Russell's looking good at Bath, but he was looking good at Scotland though. So.
But again, with Finn Russell, he's a really good club 10. When it steps to the international stage, it's just not his game.
Sometimes it seems to me like
I think he dissolves in huge test matches.
I mean, he's not as lucky as other teams having a big pack as dominant a pack to play behind. But
I think it's the speed of test rugby.
Yeah.
That kind of fucks them up.
It's so fast and it's relentless.
It's so fast.
Yeah.
Like as soon as you have to get that ball, and then in club rugby, he has more time.
Yeah.
to do things.
To have a think about it.
Yeah.
Did I tell you this is as fast as rugby's ever been as well?
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's just literally, it's never been faster. So this glory days bullshit, you can forget about it.
You got to speed the game up. It's not fast enough.
That's right. Inject it with meth. Let's go.
Like if you can see the ball,
Yeah.
then the game's too slow.
It's too slow.
Yeah.
I want those spin passes to be hypersonic. Yeah, I don't know what to say about Scotland. Good luck to them. I don't know.
France.
France, I think they will get second in the Six Nations. I think they'll beat everyone except Ireland, and they'll miss Dupont a little bit, but they've got real talent everywhere else. So he's not going to be a huge loss, but I think he would be the difference in an Ireland-France showdown.
I forget his name, but their usual like other scrum half that they use, he's injured too.
Oh,
So they're going down the ranks.
no.
So I think France will probably finish third.
Who? So they're losing to who?
They're losing to I think they'll lose to Ireland.
Ireland and England.
Ireland and England, I think they'll lose to both.
Oh, I don't want to go back to the which France team is going to show up days. They were so boring. It was such a
I don't
shit
think we're
cliche.
going to be in that era. I
Yeah.
just feel like I don't know. They got some key positions missing. So I think there's going to be
Peno
I
is
think a
good
third.
though. Peno
Yeah.
is like an eel, man. I read that somewhere. It's not my words. Someone
he's
else's.
really good.
But he's just unreal right now. He just scores tries all the time. He scored a try right now while we were talking.
He probably
He
did.
did. He did. Anyway, I think they'll get second. But yeah.
England.
England. Okay, you keep talking him up, and I need to see a little bit more
Am
evidence.
I squidge rugbying you?
You've gaslit me to believe that England are going to win everything. Yeah. I don't know. Like, give me some more. Okay, fair enough. They exceeded expectations in the World Cup,
Mm-hmm.
but not by a huge amount. They didn't beat anyone that they shouldn't be. They should be there. You know what I'm trying to say.
I saw a team in France that shouldn't have done what they did.
Yeah.
And I'm giving all that credit to Borthwick.
Steve Borthwick. People have been slagging him off for his selection and his
Mhm.
lack of enthusiasm in press conferences. I think he's got a good plan. I think I agree with you there.
Mhm.
I just need to see more evidence, and the Six Nations will be that evidence.
I thought the World Cup was, when I saw what was unfolding there and that step up,
Yeah.
I'm like, this is something's brewing here.
Something's
I
going
don't
on.
think you're going to see a very different team.
Who's playing 10 for England?
Probably it'll be George Ford.
You think so, of Marcus Smith, eh?
Yeah, even though I think Marcus Smith is playing really good.
Yeah, I like him.
There's another guy too, Finn Smith.
Ben Smith?
Yeah,
Mm,
he's been playing really good too.
right.
But I think Borthwick's gonna go safe for
Yeah.
this Six Nations. I think George Ford's gonna take the helm there.
I think so too. I want Marcus Smith to do it, but I think you're right. I think Borthwick likes the style that George Ford plays, more of a general, less of a running 10. And George Ford's like drop kick game is pretty good, and I think that's how they beat Ireland, because they beat him with kicks, not just drop kicks, but crossfield kicks, etc. So
They also got a bump up in their forward pack too, because Mercer now in the Prem,
yeah,
and there's that Exeter kid Alfie Barbary.
he's good.
He's tearing it up.
Yeah, he is.
So I wonder if Borthwick is going to throw him in the team.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think they're going to be a team of bastards.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to have a really good 2024.
I think they're going to miss Courtney Laws, but I like a lot of what you said.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see.
Squidging you.
You are a bit, but yeah, I'm holding my own. I don't think they're going to win it.
Do you even want to talk about Wales?
Yeah, always, always. We're going to win the Grand Slam, obviously.
I just feel like Wales they have zero innovation.
Shut up. Rude.
Oh, sorry, that was you talking about Ireland.
Stop.
They just don't do
quoting me.
anything different ever.
I'm not even going to talk. I'm not going to give them the oxygen of publicity. I'm not going to joke. I don't know. Like, I think.
How are they going to do in 2024?
I think we're going to beat Scotland, and no one's going to like us for it because Scotland are like the new.
Where are
kids
they going on the
block.
summer tour? Do you know?
I don't know actually. Maybe I'll have a quick look.
Are they going to Argentina?
I don't know. I think we went there.
Or are they
going?
going to Australia?
They're going to Australia in 2024.
Oh.
Easy, mate. Fair dinkum. Probably not. We'll probably lose one of those, or all three for a laugh.
Oh my gosh, that'd be brutal.
That'd be
That'd
pretty
be
funny.
fucking
though.
brutal.
Yeah, we're in the banter years here, like so. No, I think there's a lot of interesting young kids coming through,
Mhm.
So I'm excited about that. I think we'll have a couple of wins, a couple of losses. I'm not expecting too much. I think in the Six Nations we'll probably beat Scotland, even though we won't be favoured to, because Gatland just knows how to kind of grind out wins against them. I think he's a better tactician. I think we'll beat Italy, and everyone will want Italy to win, but they won't. And then I think we'll probably lose to France, Ireland, and England.
Oof. Where's your hope?
It's in the beating Scotland. It's realistic, is what it is. No, we might beat England. We love playing England, but I think that old kind of rivalry is dying a bit as well, because just everyone's so professional these days. They're kind of forgetting that we were raised on hatred of our colonial oppressors, and now we're just like, oh, these are professional athletes who play with each other, so whatever, they're friends.
I don't care how good of an England team Wales is playing.
Yeah,
I'm always backing Wales.
Oh yeah,
to win that game, because they just turn into something else.
I think what I'm saying is that has lessened a little bit, but not enough that it's not a factor, So I think second to last or place, something like that.
I have a little more hope than you.
Yeah, well, we'll win a Grand Slam, but I can't predict it because I'll jinx it.
I couldn't put it past that they could win the Six Nations this year.
I really want to beat Ireland because, like,
I know you do.
Why, for different reasons, because we just don't look like we know how anymore, right? It's like we've forgotten how we get under their skin a bit, right? Ireland just have our number. They beat us convincingly last.
I just feel like every part of the game that Wales is good at, Ireland are just a little bit better.
Yeah, totally. That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah. So they just have an X factor.
Yeah.
In wherever aspect of the game is.
Yeah. I think one area we were really good at, especially when we had like Warburton and Faletau and Lydia in our back row, was our back row. Ireland look like they've got a really serious back rows now as well. So yeah, they look a little better than us in the front row as well. So yeah, I agree. That's a good point. They're better than us at the things we're usually good at. They're better defensively as well, I would say. Whereas under Sean Edwards, we were unreal defensively. Like we had insane statistics about tries conceded. Not anymore.
So, I have a little bit more faith.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
Who do you think is a bolter player to look out for?
Yeah, I'm going to be selfishly talking about two Cardiff players.
Oh, good.
Cameron Winnett, Mason Grady as well.
Oh, yeah.
So both of these are backs, and I think as much as we need a bit of depth in our pack in Welsh rugby, we really need a fullback, and Cameron Winnett is looking good as a fullback. So I'm really excited for him. He's playing really well for Cardiff. Mason Grady is also tearing it up. Like, he's kind of, really good with the ball in hand. Always breaking the line, making something out of nothing. So I'm really excited to see those two players. Yeah, I'm just keep it selfish there. How about you?
I wrote down two players also.
Yeah.
Like Joe McCarthy from Leinster.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be a huge step up.
Yeah.
For Ireland.
Yeah.
This year.
Yeah.
I think he's really going to come into that lock position.
I see him talked a lot about, not in like
he's good,
not in like the newspapers, but on like Twitter and Reddit and stuff. People talk a lot about him. So yeah, that's a good call.
Yeah. And then again, Alfie Barbary.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think he's gonna make some news, some headlines.
He's gonna have a year, is he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's if Borthwick picks him.
Yeah.
So it's all up to him.
And he's a bit weird with his selection. He's a bit kind of conservative and traditional. You know? So anyway, we'll see. Okay.
Well, that was our predictions for 2024.
So before we go to our fan question, I just want to mention something.
Yeah.
So they had the Celtic Challenge Cup, so women's rugby competition, Scotland, Wales and Ireland. Very excited. Edinburgh beat Glasgow 28-11. I'm annoyed though because I don't know where to watch it or how to watch it or even to see results.
I didn't even know what was going on.
Yeah, right. It's poorly advertised, which is upsetting because I'm really excited about it. And I think Harlequins just broke the club record attendance for a women's game globally. So stuff's going on there.
For a women's game?
A women's club game.
A club game,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So that's big news, right? And it was a lot. It was more than Dragons get. I think it was like, over 10,000. I can't remember exactly. Maybe it was 16,000. But, it was a big number, right? It's not just a little more than your average Dragons attendance. So,
Well, it's called the Prem 15 in England, right? For the women.
yeah,
that's a serious league.
it is a serious league, and now that
Like, all the best players in the world are playing there.
that's right, and it's not just Saracens winning year on year now anymore,
No.
right? It's actually getting competitive, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of stuff going on there. I wish that the information about how to watch these games, specifically the Celtic Challenge, is what I'm talking about now. Like, I wish it was more available, more obvious. How do I find out about this? Maybe I'm being an idiot. Maybe it's there, but anyway.
I know I've seen a lot of games on YouTube.
Yeah.
For the Prem, I don't know about the Celtic stuff, but
It's just started, so yeah.
Yeah. Didn't they just play like a game each? I thought they were doing like a trial because there was like a club team and then there was like a club team and then like a Scottish 15 team.
That was last time. This is Edinburgh versus Glasgow women's teams played each other.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's kind of now they've started it officially. It's not just like little exhibition games.
Fully paid professional.
I don't know about that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the real. I assume they are. I think all three unions now have professional women's teams internationally. So hopefully that's the case club level, but I don't know. Yeah.
Well, there's something there because every major union is going to this like professional.
That's what I'm saying.
Contract thing for the women.
Yeah.
Because they're seeing the dividends that are paid for England.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, it's a big deal, right? It's got momentum. So.
Which was a catch-22 too, because England got so good so fast.
Yeah.
It really unevened the playing field.
It left everyone else in the dirt in the women's Six
but
Nations. Yeah.
that's a good problem to have.
That is.
You're seeing like, oh, look, money, and look what happens.
Yeah.
When
investment
you put money
works.
when you invest in something,
yeah.
right?
Fucking go figure. Yeah. Seriously.
So, yeah, that's like, I'm excited to see more rugby.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. So I think as Wales became professional, we had a decent Six Nations, like good win against Ireland, and we were closer against France and England. So it can only get better now that we've gone professional, right? So anyway, I'm excited about it, but I just want to know more about it.
I just feel bad for the Canadian girls.
Why?
And the American girls.
Well, the Canadian girls are still good though.
Yeah, but they're still good.
But they won't be.
But they won't be in the future with all those professional players. Which is, I don't want to change anything. We wouldn't take anything away from that.
Yeah.
So luckily we still have a good system for the women.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if it's a good system here for the women, but a lot of women make it in those teams.
Yeah.
So we're kind of riding off the backs of those club teams in Europe.
I know exactly what you're saying, and it's kind of like when I was talking about teams like Ireland and France being able to beat New Zealand because they've just gotten better.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it feels like the women's game is moving towards now is, professional structure, good infrastructure, which means that Canada, which doesn't have as much money, will fall behind, even though they're still very competitive internationally, right?
Yeah, so I think that will disappear.
Yeah.
That's going to disappear over time.
And I was saying to my wife when we watched Canada play Wales in the women's game, I thought, Wales could win this. They didn't, and Canada looked awesome, and they beat us well. But I thought, give it 5 years, that won't be the case, just because of better infrastructure, funding, etc. Right?
100%.
So we'll see.
Yeah. So, do you want to get to the fan question?
Yeah, we've been kind of serious today, eh?
It's been a serious podcast.
Yeah. Thought we were the banter kings. I'm joking.
Just getting
I
right
said
in the
that
dirt.
ironically. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, go ahead.
You want me to read it? Our first fan question. This is a big thing.
It is a big deal.
Our fan question comes from.
Did he smash that like button? Sorry.
We do have a like button.
We do?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we have a like button now.
Sweet.
Our question comes from Levi Playboy 6969. Just kidding. Comes from.
Have you just insulted our only fan? Bad stuff.
Playboy 6969.
Shit.
Yeah.
Right.
Levi wrote in.
Yeah.
Hi, long-time listener of our 2 episodes. First time.
He's got a sense of humor.
Questioner.
Yeah.
He's got 3 questions for us.
All right.
Number 1. Here you go. Who is the player you love to hate?
James Lowe. Easy. Next.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so weird.
That's
Why do you hate him so much?
He's just a little smug. Okay, I'll tell you why. He's a great player. I'll preface, he's a very good player, and I like a lot of the things he does. But whenever Wales play Ireland, he's always having some little fight with Liam Williams. He knows he can get under Liam Williams' skin because Liam Williams will kick off, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then when Liam Williams reacts, James Lowe's like, "Oh, what are you doing getting in my face?" It's like, if you can't dish it out, don't get upset when people put it back on you. He's a great player, though. I think it's just a little rivalry thing, I think. He's kind of that, I was saying how Wales have forgotten how to beat Ireland. He's the manifestation of how Ireland are beating us in the mental game as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he seems to have figured out how to get under our skin effectively.
My player I'm going to hate is exactly the same thing.
Is it Liam Williams?
No, it's not Liam Williams. Why would I hate? Who fucking hates him?
He's a bit of a hothead,
No, it's fuck. I forget his name. The winger from the All Blacks winger.
Caleb Clark?
No.
Iowani?
No. The kid.
Jordan?
Will Jordan.
Will Jordan?
Yeah.
All right.
I just think he's like super overrated.
Oh.
Yeah, I love to hate him.
I think he's great.
Everyone does. Oh,
Yeah.
really? You think he's great? Because everyone thinks he's great.
So you hate him because we love him. The people love him. But you...
Yeah. I just think he's I just think he's overrated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not that special.
I think he had I'm trying to think of evidence to refute
I
this.
think I've explained this before. He's
You
one of those
did.
players that you have to give him, you have to create the moment for him, and then he just capitalizes on it.
Because he's just really fast.
Yeah.
And not a lot else. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I just don't think he's, and then in really tough games, he kind of
Yeah.
disappears.
Right.
So,
Okay.
another player that's kind of like that, but is still really good, Damian McKenzie.
Yeah.
When All Blacks are playing good, he's a fantastic.
Yeah.
When they're on the back foot, he kind of dissolves.
He's a leaf on the wind.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to give him space and freedom, but when you do, ooh,
I still love him though.
I love him. Yeah.
Damian
I
McKenzie's
got a lot
really
of time for
good.
Damian
Yeah, me
McKenzie.
too.
He's exciting to watch. But you're all right though. He's less present in physical tight games, isn't he? Yeah.
All right. His second question is:
Yeah.
more unions
Yeah.
are lowering the approved tackle height. Where do
Okay.
you see the laws in 2 to 5 years?
What did I write down?
You wrote something down.
Yeah, I'm not very smart, so I got to make notes. I wrote shin height tackling forever. Yeah. You know what? Sam Warburton was talking about this the other day, and he said he likes a lot of, the protection of player welfare, etc., and some of the rules changes related to that. But we do have to accept that rugby. I'm paraphrasing, but we do have to accept that rugby is a physical, sometimes dangerous game.
Mhm.
And I felt that was a nice little refresher for me because I think I got really focused on player welfare. When I'm coaching and I see like one of my players get hit on the head,
Yeah.
like I take it kind of personally almost. I'm like, oh my God, am I responsible for this person's like well-being for the rest of their life? And I had to remind myself, people choose to play rugby knowing that it's a violent contact sport, right? So how is this tackle height thing going to change? I think it's going to settle at, below the neck. And I think we're going to stay with the rules we've got in place for head contact, and it's a cliche, but it just has to be ref more consistently. I don't think this sternum stuff is going to stick.
No, I feel like liability is going to change.
The money's going to affect it. Eh?
Yeah, so I think, like the risk. It's a risky game. It's a combat sport,
It is.
right? So I think the liability around rugby is going to change. Like
Yeah.
the player is going to take on more liability
Right.
to play rugby.
Like you think in a legal sense, like someone could get sued for a high tackle or something?
No. I think like more, what can I say? Like enter at your own risk type contracts
Right. You sign
and
a little
type
thing.
deals, right?
Yeah.
Are going to become more and more frequent. Like you're going to play rugby,
Yeah.
sign this.
Yeah.
So if you get fucked up,
Yeah. That's your problem.
this is part of the game.
Yeah.
But I think it's fair.
And I think if they at least have something like that where they say, you could get early onset dementia, CT, if you play this consistently, that's the risk. You accept that, you sign this. Like, that's kind of that kind of road. Because it's tragic what's happening in some of these ex-professionals, right? Waiting for this lawsuit court case, I don't know what it's called in the UK, to be resolved. And there's players who I grew up watching, my heroes, like guys like Andrew Coombs and Ryan Jones. Like I grew up watching these guys, and now they've got brain damage.
Yep, and that's the risk you take when you play a combat sport, like a very physical sport. Like look at boxing.
Yeah.
Right? But
no one's pretending that
it's
that's
high
not
risk,
dangerous,
high reward.
Right.
Well, kind of for rugby. I don't know. You're not making millions and millions and millions.
No.
But I think it's fair to,
But specifically to the question, right? Like,
Mhm.
what do you think? How are the laws going to change? I don't think too much more.
That I don't think so either.
Yeah,
I think there will be more liability, legal stuff in the background that's going to change more,
I agree.
putting more of the responsibility on the player.
Right, but actual law changes in the
No.
game, not so much.
No.
Yeah, I think we'll settle around where we're at. We just need more consistent reffing, and I say that with quotation marks because it is a bit of a cliche, but it's
And even with all that, there's still going to be head.
yeah, it's unavoidable, right?
Yeah.
It's totally unavoidable. Yeah, I think maybe one thing that would happen is if this 20-minute red card thing comes into effect.
That would make everything worse.
I think it might happen though. I do
because if you bring that in, that I think that it brings in headhunters into the game. It opens up the door for headhunters.
Like, come on, mess him up, and
him up. You're out. He's out, but he's out.
And then we bring on our impact player to replace you in 20 minutes.
Right.
And especially if the other team's on a yellow card, we're only going to be missing an extra 10 minutes. May as well go bash that guy. I don't think teams train like that, but you know there could be some subconscious element of that, right?
Yeah, you can just you can sacrifice a player to sacrifice an all-star.
Do we just like predict the rugby conspiracy theory that might happen?
Kind of. That's just how I can't see like teams will do that.
Yeah.
You know, if you have a player that's basically a team, right? Take him out.
Yeah.
Sacrifice a player for a player.
Yeah.
Right?
We can live with 20 minutes extra. Without you. Oh, okay.
That's conspiracy.
It's conspiratorial.
But like
yeah, maybe.
Teams will do whatever they can to win.
Yeah. Like
if you're going into a final and you got a guy that can slot the ball in between the sticks from anywhere.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. If he's gone, that's a huge part of their game.
Yeah.
Right? So
and you don't even have to be hitting him for the head, do you? Just hit him hard.
Yeah, and you only lose for 20 minutes. So, I don't know.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Here's his third question. Do you see international rugby making changes to the rules regarding replacements?
You want to answer first? Because I went twice.
Yeah, I can answer this first.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think so. I really feel like they're not going to make any changes.
I do.
I don't think they need to make any changes.
I think they do, and they should.
Because the games because obviously we're talking about the 7-1 split.
Yeah. Yeah, we are.
The 7-1 split was played 3 times.
And it was effective.
I don't know, when they played Ireland, I didn't feel like it made a huge impact. They brought that bomb squad on. They were winning some scrums at the beginning,
but not all of them.
And then Ireland straightened up.
Okay.
You know, they took an initial beating when that whole pack came on.
Yeah.
But and I think it was for 15 minutes or 20 minutes, and then they switched out their forwards, and everything kind of solidified. I didn't really see a huge impact on that.
Okay.
And you know what's going to happen is if South Africa continue to do a 7-1 split, rugby is going to do what rugby does, and someone will figure it out.
Yeah.
Someone's going to strategize around it and beat them at that game.
Do you remember that? I don't know if you remember this. There was a game, Italy, and Italy didn't create a breakdown, so then they weren't offside. And then the English guy was going to the ref.
That's rugby. I don't know what rugby is, mate.
That wasn't taste rugby, man. That wasn't taste. You can't do that. But you could do that. And then they changed the rules not long after that. Right?
I just don't think the 7-1 is that impactful to make changes.
I think this question is separate to that, because I think that whole 7-1 stuff is cool and interesting and worth talking about. I don't think it's the same issue as the number of replacements you can have. What position they are is kind of irrelevant to me. It's the number you can have. And I think they will reduce the number for both player welfare and to make the game a bit more open towards the end. So I think I could see them going down to 4.
To 4?
I don't know. I'm just making up a number, but I think it'll go down.
Then you're going to go back to playing time.
Yeah.
Cutting out playing time. I don't know.
Yeah.
I personally don't see anything worth changing, and I don't think there'll be a change.
All right.
If you want to change, that's different, but I don't see. Do you see them actually making a change? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Not immediately, but yeah, give it 2-3 years. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I think we got through everything.
Yeah, we talked a lot.
We did talk a lot. This is one of our longer podcasts.
Oh my. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it's a good thing.
Okay, cool.
Fine.
Yeah.
Keep watching in little snippets.
What if we get 2 fan questions? We're screwed then. It'll take up hours.
We just got to plan better.
Yeah, fair enough.
Well, if you have any questions, you can email us at the Friends of Rugby pod@gmail.com.
Yeah, you can.
You can also find us on X, like Twitter. We're on YouTube.
We're on X.
We're on X. So you can tweet us our bot farm X.
Why are we on porn sites, Steve?
You should see. When I opened it up, we have 10 followers. It's all bots.
Oh,
Inviting me to OnlyFans.
Did you join?
No.
Okay.
Hello. Find good photo of me. And then the link in the bottom.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So if you want to join our bots on following us on Twitter or X.
Yeah, you could be our 11th bot.
Yeah.
Nice.
Or email us at thefriendsofrugbypod@gmail.com.
Do we say anything controversial that's going to get us hate mail? Probably. Not too bad.
I think any kind of interaction would be good.
Any publicity.
I'll take it all.
Fair enough. All right. Cool.
Yeah. So, I don't worry. I'll scan this.
Yeah. Thanks, Levi, for listening.
Yeah. Levi, Playboy6969.
Big shout out to you.
Big shout out to you. Thank you.
All right.
All right, guys. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
See you. Bye.